Formula One returns. Welcome to the second part of the season, and it could be a historic homecoming for the World Championship leader. Only once before in the entire history of the sport has a driver won 9 Grand Prix in a row. Over to you, Max Verstappen. 72 laps ahead, green flag at the back. Here come the lights for the Dutch Grand Prix. And we go racing in Zandvoort with a good reaction time for both of the drivers on the front row. It's Lando Norris thinking about George Russell. Verstappen holds the lead. Will they all slow it down with the rain falling? Verstappen, then Norris. It's close between the two friends of Alex Albon and George Russell, but Russell hangs on to third position. The two Spaniards of Alonso and Sainz were close, but they make it through. That's opportunistic stuff to the inside. What a great move from Fernando Alonso as the rain comes down. It's all about the feel. It's all about the grip. Alonso is up to third position, using all of that mastery as the rain begins to fall. Verstappen, then Norris, then Alonso.
Brilliant stuff from Alonso then. He's the big winner there, +2 places, and Sainz is going past Albon.
Can he make it stick? That would be audacious, and it is a super move for Sainz on the opening lap.
He's coming back, Albon back down the inside. I am amazed we've not seen any contact on this opening lap. They've been side by side, sometimes 3 abreast.
And that is Sainz trying to hang on now with Perez. And look, they're weaving, trying to generate tyre temperature. And this is so tough for the drivers that they come in. It's hammering down. It's hammering down on the main straight. It is all about keeping your tyres warm and on the racetrack at this stage. This is nearly impossible.
They have to go to the pits. They will lose so much time. They will lose so much time on these slick tyres. Who doesn't go in?
Now you've got to pit now. It is chucking it down. You can see them all sliding around. The tyres aren't even fully up to temperature. The Williams of Albon, they're sideways. Is anyone going to pit? Are they going to stay out and brave it?
The spray is being lifted by the Formula One cars onto lap 2. Verstappen, Norris and Alonso. This is such strange territory for them now. Perez comes in to go to the intermediate tyres. The others are out there plainly on the wrong tyres for the conditions.
100%. That is brave stuff, those that have stayed out. And look, see the issue in releasing cars because of this pit lane being so tight. This is going to be such a difficult lap on a set of slicks.
The standard of driving on that opening lap was phenomenal, all racing together. There were a few lockups.
For second place, Fernando Alonso is going past. Fernando Alonso has turned 5th position, and he is tiptoeing through the rain using all of the experience of his starts in Formula One. The 2-time champion is up to 2nd.
Someone's going to bin it. Surely, I know you're saying you're amazed at the driving standards. We should remind ourselves these are the best drivers in the world, but in these conditions, to try and explain to the people at home how difficult it is to keep the car on the road when the tyres lose temperature.
You can live with it, stay out.
You need to tell me the radar.
Yeah, understood, Max. I think we'll be in this lap, Max.
They've changed their mind, Julian.
Well, there's nothing like hearing the wheel guns in the background, is there? Someone else has taken the gamble. Max is leading. It's still raining out there. Look at the spray, and they're on slicks. Alonso is so comfortable in these conditions. He's up in a second. He started 5th, and now he's hunting down the race leader.
He'll be leading by the time he gets to Tarzan. There's a prediction for you.
Let's find out. We've only got a couple of corners to go. Remember, the 14th and final corner on this racetrack is a banked turn. It is so difficult to apply the power in these conditions. Who comes in? Who is able to come in? Who continues round?
Okay, Lando. Rain is easy enough. Can you keep the car on track?
Yeah.
In comes Max Verstappen, in comes Fernando Alonso. Lando Norris leads the Dutch Grand Prix, but for how much longer? Because here comes George Russell to the inside. Russell close to taking the lead, and he's done it.
What was that? It looked like he braked 200 metres earlier than Russell.
He was cautious, Norris. He'd just seen the 2 cars ahead of him dive into the pits. I think he probably thought they were all going to stay out and brave it. Verstappen has pitted. Where is Sergio Perez? He's ahead, isn't he?
He is absolutely ahead. Perez went early to the intermediate tyre. Perez is in 5th position at the moment. Russell got past Norris at the first turn. Perez is now past Oscar Piastri's P4.
Yeah, we should have come in, man. This is very wet.
Copy, Lewis. So we're going to stay out. We're going to have to brave this, I think.
Perez is in another league right now. He's got the right tyres on and he's picking them off at will. He's a couple of metres away from the Grand Prix lead, and Sergio Perez manages to time the conditions to perfection. 7th on the grid to the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. Off
through the
goes
gravel.
Charles Leclerc, he keeps it going, but he dips a couple of intermediate tyres into the gravel trap. It's Perez who has the lead, then it's Russell, then it's Norris. Joe is up to fourth. It will be second place before long. Max Verstappen looking for a way by. He's currently in sixth position, trying to overtake Gasly. This is unbelievable Formula One. It's all about the tyres. It's all about the instinct. This track does dry quickly. Those on slicks need to see that right now. As we see further back, Fernando Alonso trying to get on terms with Charles Leclerc. That is in the battle for seventh.
Norris pits then. Norris pits off the slick tyres, led the race for a brief moment this time last lap. Russell lost 20 seconds to Perez on that lap. So his pit stop window is just going to go as well. This has not worked for anyone staying on the slicks.
This is live pictures. It is lap 6 of 72 and so much more grip for Max Verstappen. But unless you get the move done into turn 3, you're going to have to do something inventive. And he's thinking about it, but that is close to contact. Gasly is forced to take the high line and Verstappen takes third position. Alonso with his nose to the inside of Charles Leclerc. Alonso back to where he started. After all that magnificent driving, he's back in fifth position. Sergio Perez leads. He is up 6 places. Zhou Guanyu is up 13 places from where he started. Verstappen now in third.
That Alonso move on Leclerc was nice though, wasn't it? It's still on the inters, he's looking good, and that was against a Ferrari on inters. No DRS, just sent it in, and he's looking really hooked up into fifth place, up behind Gasly now, and he's still hunting for a podium today.
Oh, this could be special. He loves turn 3. Once again, Max Verstappen carves his way by, and it is a Red Bull 1-2 now, but there are 10 seconds between Perez, who took intermediates at the start of the race, and Verstappen, who stayed out there for another tour. Okay, 6 seconds now. Verstappen is absolutely scything into the advantage of his teammate that was at 1.12 seconds. It's now 5.8. The Ferraris are line and stern in 6th and 7th after the most dramatic Grand Prix start of the season so far. That's them swapping round.
I can only imagine Perez has left the handbrake on after he did the start, because I can't believe the amount of time that Verstappen's taking out of him.
Joe comes in looking for his third point score of the season. DRS has been enabled now. Alonso came in to get rid of the inter tyre as well, and Alpine have to run another lap on that intermediate rubber.
I'm surprised Gasly didn't come in. The slicks are definitely better. Piastri's fastest lap there was 4 seconds quicker than Verstappen on the slick tyres, so maybe they're thinking this rain is going to come down again, and they don't want to avoid doing 2 more pit stops, and then gambles on the pit wall today. We're only 11 laps into the race.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? You'll lose less time in this sort of couple of laps window being on the inter when others are on slicks, but within 2-3 laps, if you're out there gambling on the rain coming, you're just going to lose chunks of time.
Was that Alonso? Was that Alonso getting past Joe? It was! And Alonso takes the position immediately. This was Alonso on the soft tyre against Joe on the medium, and if you give Fernando Alonso a car's width, he is going to find his way by. This is into turn 3, and that is, he risked it on a slightly wet part of track. Through he goes. In comes the man chasing Grand Prix victory number 9 in a row. Now with slick tyres attached to the car, it's the narrowest pit lane of the year. Even more so, really, than the Monaco. You go over, you dip down onto the concrete apron from the fast lane to the slow lane. That lap, we're going to get an illustration of how much it's cost Gasly. And they would have told Joe to come in, and Alonso is going past Pierre Gasly to take that position for what would be a return to the podium. It's another slow stop for Ferrari. They're on board with Charles Leclerc. This is earlier on. That's how he got the front wing damage, DC.
Yeah, banging wheels along with the McLaren, and that was a little bit unfortunate. And actually, a lot of these front wings have been able to take quite a bit of impact, but it's just taken the end plate off, and they'll see on the load sensors just how much aerodynamic performance he's lost in that car.
And it was another lap round for Sergio Perez. 21 seconds. You can see the lost time if it goes absolutely to plan. But even with a brilliant stop, this is surely going to be another change of the lead in the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah, so the Dutchman will lead again. There we go, picture in picture. Verstappen's going to blast past and back into the lead. Perez should rejoin ahead of Fernando Alonso, you can see in the top of the screen. But he'll have to get those tyres fired up pretty quickly as well, crawling out of the pit lane, hugging the inside there.
Did Max undercut us?
Yes, Max undercut us.
They put Zhou Guanyu on the medium tyre. Carlos Sainz has just got past him for 5th. Kevin Magnussen, who went to the slick tyres first in this batch of stops, up to 7th now. If you time it correctly today, there are points available. It's going to be very, very tight there into the braking zone. Ocon going wheel to wheel and being elbowed out of the way. Tsunoda in 9th place, Ocon in 10th. We're on board with Alexander Albon in 11th. That was a very tight moment between Yuki Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon. Tsunoda's been cleared by Ocon and Albon now. And Logan Sargent has found the wall once again in this Dutch Grand Prix weekend.
That'll be a full safety. I don't see any crane there.
You okay? You okay?
No, I crashed. I don't know what happened, man. Something failed on the front right when I hit the curb.
It did look like something failed, or the curb was extremely slippery and just skipped him on towards the barriers.
And it's flat to the floor from here, through the 14th corner, the banked one, to take us back to green flag racing.
Look at that already, Max. You can see how he's opened out the gap, but look at Alonso in the slipstream of Checo Perez.
Alonso's going to have a chance. Oh, and Perez knew it, defended. Sainz looking for the opportunity on Gasly. Sainz is going to be close on the exit of this corner, but Pierre Gasly got that 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Darker clouds coming in.
Listen, thank you.
It's a late lunge from Yuki Tsunoda, who's able to take the place on Zhou Guanyu, and that is for 8th position. Time for another overtake by the looks of things. Even though Zhou Guanyu has the DRS, Lando Norris has an update in McLaren. He sweeps around the outside to take the place away from the Chinese driver. It's 9th position for Lando Norris as Max Verstappen sets the fastest first sector of the race so far. The gap is approaching 4 seconds at the head of the field, then 3 seconds between Perez and Alonso. And we've got Zhou Guanyu now seeing Lewis Hamilton claim the position in a few moments' time, you would suspect. Zhou Guanyu on that medium compound of tyre, and he's in a sea of soft compounds. Lewis Hamilton is another driver running them as well. And look at this, look at the speed as he builds up to 200 miles per hour and takes his place back in the points. That was the minimum he was expecting today. P10 for Hamilton. Lawson on reserve driver duties, had 1 practice session, 1 hour of qualifying, but he didn't get the full hour because he only had 18 minutes before he was eliminated, and it will have been an eye-opening experience.
Yeah, that is a very good point, but he is active as he goes for the pass into the chicane. Yeah, not much resistance from that wounded Ferrari.
So the situation is getting worse, so we retire the car.
That was always coming. Charles Leclerc retires from the Dutch Grand Prix, and that is his first retirement since Australia, the 3rd race of the year.
Front left is an issue.
It's a slow stop, and that is really tough stuff for Alonso, whose chance of putting pressure on Perez disappears. And
Sainz
Carlos
is through.
Sainz goes through. The Spanish driver, Carlos Sainz, who hasn't been on the podium all season long, goes through, and so does Tsunoda, as the podium chances disappear for Fernando Alonso. Let's do battle with Ferrari and Aston Martin, with Carlos Sainz hanging on to 3rd place at the moment, but Alonso wants it back, and he's prepared to go aggressively to the inside, and he'll reclaim the place. Fernando Alonso forgets all about that difficult pit stop and roars on by to P3. And Hamilton and Norris now trying to get past Tsunoda. There goes Norris, and Hamilton's going to have to wait, but will he have better traction, go the long way round? And he will. So Tsunoda's gamble doesn't pay off with the AlphaTauri team. Norris is up to 9th, P10 for Lewis Hamilton. Russell versus Albon. This is for 6th position, or it was, because Albon has just driven around the side of his good friend and taken 6th place. Alex Albon on for his best day in Formula One so far this season. He is resurgent in that Williams.
Hamilton has cleared Norris as well for 9th place, so he made that pass around the outside of Tsunoda, had to do it first time, and here we go.
That is going to be Ocon being passed by Lewis Hamilton, who then has his teammate directly ahead. That was down to Tarzan corner.
Okay, so this rain is 2 minutes away, duration is about 50 minutes.
Any second now, we're expecting the Dutch Grand Prix to turn into a wet contest once again. There's no need for anything to turn into a battle between Hamilton and Russell here. Old hard tyres!
Oh, he put a wheel on the grass.
And we all took a step back in the commentary box, and I can't believe that George Russell's still in the Dutch Grand Prix.
Save of the century.
How did he keep that? Wow, that was huge.
That could have been an almighty crash. That would have been straight into the gravel, into the Tech Pro, and racing driver's instincts keep him in the race.
I mean, Hamilton had quite the view there, didn't he? Coming into the fastest corner of the circuit. Now he goes around his teammate and up into 7th.
This is a much better run for Pierre Gasly this time. It's a position improved for Pierre Gasly. Another driver to forget about the slow pit stop. That was for a penalty there for the Alpine driver, and he gets past Carlos Sainz. And despite all of this, they're going to have to deal with the rain, which all the teams believe is coming. Looks like it's just about to hit the beach.
This would be a very good time to pit.
Okay, changing it. Here comes the rain.
This is an opportunity, and the rain is bucketing down.
Well, this is going to change it. It's all about keeping it on the road once again for the drivers. This is going to be tough even on the intermediate tyre that they surely will all elect to change onto.
Very good stop for Verstappen. Look how much the rain is coming down.
Verstappen continues on there. He's made it out. He's going to maintain the lead. Alonso's come into the pits as well. They're side by side in really wet conditions where you are completely committed. It's usually flat in the dry. George Russell goes through a corner that he very nearly went off at a few moments ago. Albon down to 9th. Piastri completes the point scorers. Yellow flag in sector 1, and off the road goes Sergio Perez in the monsoon conditions now. Surely it can't be long until we throw a safety car at this one, because they'll be struggling to keep it on the road. They'll be aquaplaning off. Alonso is up to 2nd place.
He's just double front locked as he's hit the brakes. That was something we saw a lot in the rain yesterday.
And the barrier, but just the lightest of touches.
Let's go back to live. Oh, they're snaking off the road. Zhou Guanyu has gone into the Tech Pro. His teammate has gone off, and the virtual safety car is out as we go into the pits to change onto full wet tyres. In we come with Max Verstappen, full wet tyres. It's Zhou is okay, I'm hearing. He's gone off. He's reported he's all right, but we are heading into red flag territory now. There is Zhou Guanyu, who was reported on the radio. He is all right. And we eventually get to the red flag, but after Perez has given up track position.
It will go back a lap for Perez. So he will go back to 3rd place, I believe.
Oh, that was a big hit for Zhou Guanyu.
It was aquaplane territory for Zhou, and actually his teammate went off just behind.
Max Verstappen takes us back to green flag racing conditions, and Fernando Alonso will try and stay with the Dutch driver out front. What a spectacle we have been treated to as the green flag flies once again at Zandvoort. It's Verstappen, then Alonso, then Perez into turn 1. Alonso trying to fire up those intermediate tyres, quickly trying to give himself a chance. There's 0.6 of a second between the top 2 as they reach turn 2.
I think that was as good a restart as Alonso could have hoped for in the conditions. So no pressure from behind as yet. Everyone else making their way around. Anyone taking that inside line for a pass?
Russell thinking about the move on Lando Norris. Fernando Alonso had a big twitch going into turn 3. It cost him so much time through this series. And Russell just drove straight past Lando Norris there and up to 7th place. Perez currently has 3.6, 3.8 seconds over Gasly. He'll need 5. He's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Norris has been passed by Russell. He's trying to come back through at turn 10. Russell did that great move on the exit of 3. They're side by side into turn 11. There's a right-hander coming up.
And as we go into turn 11, there's the contact between the pair of them. And it was only minor, but it put Russell out.
Yeah, that's a nothing. That's just
That was racing.
Here is the home hero. You can hear the crowd cheering him home. And this is a moment of Formula One magic for Max Verstappen, who is going to claim another home victory, a 3rd in a row. Verstappen is the history maker in Holland. Verstappen crosses the line to win 9 Grand Prix in a row and tie the all-time record. Superb stuff to bring the crowd to their feet. Alonso is 2nd for his return to the podium, his 1st since Canada. Perez crossed the line in 3rd, but it's Pierre Gasly who takes the checkered flag waved by Martin Garrix, and Gasly gets his 1st podium since 2021. Alonso, his 7th podium of the season, but 9 Grand Prix in a row has only been done once before until now. Sebastian Vettel has company. Max Verstappen ties the all-time record. What a Dutch Grand Prix to remember.
Incredible, and also today they didn't make it easy for us, I think, with the weather to make all the time the right calls. But yeah, incredibly proud. I mean, I already had goosebumps when they were playing the national anthem before the start, and even with all the bad weather, the rain, the fans were still going at it. So an incredible atmosphere.
Anything you can come up with, however odd, Max Verstappen has an answer to it, and at his home race, he's topped the pile once again.